It is your instant match reaction for Everton 2. Somehow, Bournemouth 3. And I say somehow because they could have scored 6 in the end, if I'm being brutally honest, but so could the Blues. Joining me for now outside, the Denby on Hackintay are Les Roberts and Foxy making his instant match reaction debut. What a day to do it. We might have Ed and Matt join us in a bit as well, but we're going to get straight into it, lads, because we're all fuming and I want to sort of capture the mood as best I could before people calm down a little bit. Everton somehow should have won that game 5 or 6-0 and also probably should have lost it 5 or 6-2 in the end. Just a mad football match, but just when you feel like you can't be embarrassed anymore by this football club, they go and do that.
It took some doing to lose that game from the position we were in. It was like everyone was having such a nice day for about 75 minutes in, thinking this has got to be lovely, we'll go back, we'll do a nice post-match, everyone's happy, and Dai's been brilliant. And then for me, I'm putting it squarely back on the manager again for his substitutions or the lack of substitutions. I think Bournemouth brought on about 4 players before 80 minutes.
Five,
yeah. You know, and he's leaving players on like McNeil, who stank the gaff out, looked knackered. He stayed on. Harrison did not in the second half. He stayed on. Who else? Erubunam was knackered. Yeah, he should have come off after about 65, 70 minutes. He was dead on his feet. And he did nothing until 80 minutes, at which point he took the best player off, which you could see at the time because he'd had a really good game. He did look tired himself, but he was pretty much the only outlet we had. And then when he went off, it was noticeable the difference that made to the team. So I just think to leave your subs that long when the players have put that much into the game, okay, the professionals, maybe they should see it out. But I just think the manager's got to be able to see that there were players on the pitch incapable of seeing that game out because they were knackered, and he's lost us 3 points again there.
Foxy, where are you going to for today after that?
I think for like 80 odd minutes I had a really nice day. We played really well, some of the best attacking moves I've seen us play, putting together intricate passes, looked dangerous, looked like scoring. I think similar to Les, it's got to be on Dice. You could see the midfield was looking leggy. We had subs. We had James Garner didn't come on, Lundstrom didn't come on. We had options to change it, and he kept it as it was. But also just a weakness to the spine of the team. I haven't seen the goals back as in the Gladys. I haven't seen the goals at the Park End, but they just like...
It's the same goal 3 times.
It looked like the same goal, just fucking head it out. It's like... making sense of that and making sense of the softness and spine of the team. I mean, that's core Dyche, isn't it? Being like, defend the centre of the box, defend the V's. Didn't do any of that, so... madness, absolute madness that game, how we didn't win that comfortably.
Matt Fuss has just come out. How are you feeling after that, mate?
Same as everyone else, just kind of baffled. I'm not letting the players off the hook as easy as some others are. I think 11 professional footballers in the Premier League should see that game out, regardless of who the manager is and what subs they've made.
I think 10 or 9 should be able to as well. Sorry to interrupt you, I'll come on to the players in a bit, but I think if you've got 9 players on that pitch with 10 minutes to go, you should be fine.
It's not like we've been defended for our lives at 2-0 and trying to see it out like that. They were in control of the game. Bournemouth had 1 shot on target, which was a speculative shot from distance before they scored their first of 3 identical goals, as Foxy said. I'm not having it at all that the players are getting let off the hook for that. I think it's an absolute disgrace, and any one of them who's not an international duty should be coming in for double training for the whole international break. It's a complete disgrace, really.
But the reason I'll put that on the manager is it's his job to see that. It's his job to see that the 2-1, the players lost their heads, you could see it. There were very, very Watford vibes about the way they were performing there. The slight long ball over the top. I mean, Bournemouth didn't even get a sniff of blood at that point, I don't think. They hit a couple of speculative balls over, which we panicked at completely. The manager needs to see and either get a grip of someone to tell them to calm down. He's saying in the press conference there, apparently he was shouting at the players to do stuff. Well, you need to do more than that if they're not doing it. That's his job as the manager. He's got to get those players to see that game out. If they're panicking and they're not good enough to do it, make a change, put someone on who can, put an extra defender on or whatever.
The Moyes sub.
Well, yeah, basically, I mean, it couldn't have gone any worse, really, could it? But it's on him for me because he's the manager of that team, and I'm not just going in because I don't like Dyche, because I don't mind him. I'm quite sort of, I don't know, apathetic towards him. Yeah, I'm quite apathetic towards him. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's shite. He's done well the last 18 months. But times like that, that's where you need your manager to step in, get a grip of the team, and either make a sub that's going to change the actual setup of the team so they're not panicking, or get someone on the pitch, I don't know who that would have been off the bench, to be fair, to get a grip of the players and say, look, just calm it down, will you? Because they lost their heads. That is on the players, that they lost their heads. They should be better than that. But when there's so many tired legs on the pitch, the manager needs to do something about it.
I'm annoyed at Dyche, don't get me wrong, but I think I'm with Matt on the players as well, in the sense that, like, I just think as soon as that first goal goes in, everyone loses their head. Like,
you can't make 10 subs.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. If we could see the players were losing their heads, the manager sees the players are losing heads. So do something about it.
Yeah.
Calm them down or something.
Yeah. I think the subs before they score the first goal are wrong. But like, I don't even know. Like, when it goes 2-1, does the ball even go to play before they score again? Like, I think it all happens so fast at that point that it's gotten away from you before you can really do anything about it. Maybe a 2-2 you can, but I sort of look at it, and at 2-1, Everton have 3 great opportunities to score another goal. Like, Mikalenko's in their box, and he battles out 2 tackles, by the way, before they score the second goal, which is horrific, don't get me wrong. But at 2-1, it's like, let's not get in and keep our shape as which is what we do as a football team. Let's charge forward and try and get another goal. And like, listen, if Beto actually gets on the end of one of those 2 crosses across the box and make it 3-1, then you're saying that was bold, that was the right thing to do. But that's not us as a football. Like, that's never been us as a football team under Dyche. It's get in, keep your shape, and see it out. Because till that point, they've done nothing. They created nothing at all. And I just think at that point in the game, and like the manager spoke about Premier League experience, I think the value of it. There is enough experience on the pitch for someone to say, right, let's get a grip here. You've got the England goalie, who I think should have done well better on a couple of the goals, by the way.
Second one especially.
Coleman, Tarkowski, Keane, experienced players. You've got Idrissa Gueye there, who's playing the Champions League, late rounds.
Coleman had the ball at his feet, 6 yards from their goal.
Yeah.
All he had to do was just slot it in. And somehow...
That was 1-0 though, wasn't it? So...
No, that was 2-0, wasn't it?
It was a 1-0. It was definitely 1-0, yeah. Because we scored straight after it, yeah.
Right, okay, fair enough. But even then, like, we had so many chances to be outside in that game, and the players didn't take them. And I don't think Dyche was telling them from the touchline, keep it at 2-0, keep it at 2-0, let's not go mad here. We should have been well out of sight in that game before they even came back. So how much blame can you put on the manager? I mean, someone was saying in the first half, we don't look like scoring at all here, and then we scored 2 goals. It's like, okay, what's the next moan? Like...
I think the subs were wrong. I do think the subs were wrong.
I think the subs were very routine. They were just exactly the kind of subs a manager makes every single time they're 2-0 up. Like, you take off your most energetic player, who is basically making his full Premier League debut. He gets a standing ovation, and then he always takes off Dom, doesn't he, for Beto. Maybe one of the wingers, like, I don't know why they didn't bring Lindstrom on, like, just to get him on the pitch for some minutes, but I don't think the subs were anything unusual. And if we'd say clung on and won that 2-1 with a very nervy finish, I don't think we'd be stood here saying, oh, them subs. I think people are just trying to look for the most obvious thing to blame for the 3-2.
To be fair, right, I was actually furious at Dyche for not making subs on 65-70 minutes, because I could see the team was tiring. I'm not trying to be a smart arse here, but I was genuinely annoyed.
Manage a football team, do you?
I'm assistant manager now, so I don't even do that. But I was genuinely annoyed that he was like, after the last couple of weeks he's made subs on 65 and 55, I think, purely out of necessity, where players have been stinking the gaff out, or we need something different. Today, as everyone said, defensive shape and everything's his thing. So we should be able to make the subs needed to make the team a bit more defensive, to see that out, and that's why I'm blaming him. But I'm not looking for excuses. I'm not doing it in hindsight. I was genuinely annoyed at the fact that he wasn't even looking to make subs on like 70 minutes. So.
Ed McCosh has joined us here, by the way.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you, which is a great start. But I thought the entire substitution was the correct one, because in the minutes leading up to that substitution, you could see he was tailing off, but he was starting to lose his man as well. So he wasn't tracking back, and Mikalenko was getting 2-on-1 situations. So obviously Dyche has seen that, and thinking pragmatically, he's gone, it's going to be better if McNeil's there covering and getting back. And I think it was the right choice. What it should have been followed with is bringing off Irabunam, who was clearly so tired and was taking the ball forward at a snail's pace. Bringing on Garner, a bit of energy and a bit more control in the midfield. And I think that's such a massive oversight. I don't understand it, but as much as we can blame Dyche, it's unprecedented what just happened. No Premier League team has ever led 2-0 that late and lost. Yeah. So it's not...
Is that a statistic else?
That's
I was going to say that's very fucking precedented for Everton, isn't it? How many times have we seen something like that?
It feels like we've done it a lot, but nobody's done it. And that is a sign of just how...
You sound proud.
On the timeline.
I know, we're making history in that
Everton
last
first.
year at Goodison. And that is on the players, especially when our two most experienced players really are at the back and should be marshalling the defence, should be using the dark arts. Go down softly, commit a foul, boot the ball like it's a bloody rugby match to the other end of the pitch. Like, do something to break that play, because Bournemouth scored that goal and they were so positive, they had the bit between their teeth. The manager brought on 4 attacking players. He wanted that win. They wanted that win, and they just kept pushing. They did exactly the same thing to Luton last season.
Yeah, that's right.
Precisely the same thing. And Luton were naive, and they were poor at the back, and they got punished. And we've just fallen into exactly the same trap. And it's so annoying, and honestly, I'm still in shock.
I think the most annoying thing for me today was we should have had loads of positive things to talk about. 85 minutes worth of football. That is the best I've seen us play, and I can't remember when. And we should have been 3-4-0 up. Loads of good stuff. And Dyer coming on, Ibrahim, Timmy in the middle, doing great stuff. Him and Ghana, I thought, played well together. Harrison trapped the ball nicely frequently. There was 85 minutes worth of really nice, good football, loads of promise. I felt off the back of that we could be going up the league and kind of looking positively to that kind of mid-table thing that we're all hoping for. And now the media will all be Everton at the bottom, Everton in trouble. All the narrative will be negative when it should have been a really positive day. And I think if that had been like a standard Everton 3-0 loss like we did against Brighton, you come away from the game and like, well, Everton are just a bit shit, aren't we? And we kind of half expect it. But when we play that well and come away with nothing, it's just so much more galling than it needs to be.
You're absolutely right, and you have to wonder how that's happened as well, because this is a team under Dyche that has really sort of winnowed out a niche of going 1-0 or 2-0 up and defending it.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Well, they're missing
comfortable.
they're missing the best player, aren't they, in Bradford?
It doesn't help. It certainly doesn't help. But it's a team that's meant to have nous, experience, understanding. This is the thing that Dyche says is apparently really important, which is why he couldn't start and die earlier, apparently. And how are we not managing that situation? It just boggles the mind that we lost our heads that much. Is it that we're so desperate to get a point? Is it you know, the fans were supported today, we weren't the problem.
The
so they
atmosphere
can't
was
have
great,
that. The atmosphere was brilliant. So why
The
was
applause
it
DCL got, there's no animosity towards him at all. He got his goal, everyone was supporting when he came off the pitch on whatever for best. So it felt like a really positive, can do, go get him attitude, and where that came from.
The thing about the Ndiaye sub that I thought was that he would. I know there were moments where he looked a little bit tired, but he was the only player who thought was an outlet for us in getting us up the pitch. And there's a few moments where he got a free kick out and off, and he had that cross out of nowhere, didn't he? And I just thought, there's 5 minutes to go. Like, why risk it? And I think McNeil going left. I think McNeil, he played a great pass, didn't he, for the second goal. McNeil was playing in that 10 position. I think it took him a while to get used to that position, but I think just moving him out there, putting Decore, and then Beto came on. Did Beto come on at 2-1 or 2-0?
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1.
Just scored when he came on.
Like, it just messed up the entire dynamic of the team. Like, I think Dom was looking a little bit tired, but strong and doing well and holding the ball up. And Beto and Decore coming on, it just went chaotic all of a sudden there. And I think you're right about the dark arts and that sort of stuff. And I'll go back to Mikolenko on Semenyo in the corner. Like, just haul him. He has 2 chances to haul him down, and he doesn't. He lets him walk past him a couple of times. And I think Scott plays a great ball out, doesn't he, to the right hand side. They go and score their goal. But I don't know. It's just one of them where, like, I'm equally annoyed at the players and the manager. I don't want to sit on the fence here, but I just feel like this football club just pull you down, don't they? Just when you want to be stood out here talking, like you said, Fox, about these players who've done well for 85 minutes. And they serve up that. I'm going to try and bring Les back in if he's there. Just talking about how good the 85 was to begin with. Is the fact that we collapsed so badly almost a bigger worry, given that? Because surely if you're a confident team in that situation, you can see the goal, you just go back to what you've been doing in the game, which has made you a dominant, 90% of that football match before they score their goal, Everton are on top, dominance, Pickford has nothing to do. Is the house of cards sort of fragile mentality sort of the biggest issue in all this, do you think?
In the context of the previous 2 results, I'd say yeah. the fact that we've conceded 7 and scored none in the previous 2 games, I'd say that is a big worry. The fact that we've not seen it for a while, have we?
Yeah.
Where the players have looked that fragile after conceding the goal. You know,
that was like Watford, wasn't it?
It was very. It was kind of a cross between Watford and Newcastle, and that is a bit of a worry, because I don't really think we've seen that much under Dyche, have we? Where the players have panicked. They've always kind of got themselves back into a good defensive shape, and kind of. We've never been bladdered that much by teams, but like you think the last 2 league games, Brighton and Spurs, we've been hammered scoreline wise, and today they just taken us apart. You know, a very, I'm not even going to say an average team, not a very good team, not a very good team at all. They were bad. I mean, and the thing is now, after that result, you know, that was beat Bournemouth, go 12th, something like that, and now we're 5 points adrift of them. You know, we could have been 1 point ahead. We could have been 1 point behind, and we're 5 points behind that. And then they're not a good side at all, and that is very worrying, because I don't know what the manager does there, in the sense of that team played really well today. I think it was the first 20 minutes played really well. Then the game settled down. Yeah. Bournemouth never really got back into it, and we got to half time. Like everything was fine. It was all right. But then you think if we can only do like 70 minutes, then we've got a problem there. Because if you can be 2-0 up and in that good a position up to 80 minutes and collapse like that, that is.
But it wasn't like they were like putting us under pressure or anything. Like they scored that on nothing, and then like it just like the roof caved in.
But it was. They said it was just hopeful balls up, and we were just doing everything wrong. I mean, they say it was very much like Watford, where players are just running into each other. There was no shape. The shape just went to shit. And again, I'll come back to it. I think there was a lot of tired players on there, which, you know, could throw this whole Dyche fit thing into question. You know, what is that?
Yeah, should have been a third gaffer's day.
Yeah,
but Brighton was the same thing, exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
played well, went 1-0 down, fine and happy. Get to half time, doing okay.
Yeah,
almost got the penalty, all that stuff. You get to 50-55 minutes, doing fine. Second goal goes in and it all falls apart, and they look knackered and they're out of position, shapeless, legless. So that's 2 games. And Spurs, I mean, that was a shit show from start to finish, so let's just forget that one. But that's a pattern. That's not just one-off bad performance, that's now a pattern of bad play. So is it Villa away next, am I right in thinking? Well, whatever's after that, we can try and rebuild.
It's Villa away, Leicester away, Palace at home. Palace at home's the big one. That's the 6th.
Wasn't today the big one?
No, Palace at home is going to be Everton haven't won, Palace haven't won, and it's like
they're all cup finals for me, Matt. There are some lovely stadiums in the Championship as well. No, let's not start.
Like, is that the hardest thing for the manager now? Matt? Like, it's like so much of that was good today, and it's like, what do you say when you go in on? I mean, it might not be Monday because a few that are on international duty, but like, what do you say to them all after that when so much has gone right, but you've had such a spectacularly bad 10 minutes that you probably did deserve to lose the football match?
I don't know. I think he's probably just got to focus on the positive, hasn't he? And say, like, for that 85 minutes, that's what I want to see. Like, I don't know, chalk it off as an aberration. What can you do? I mean, is there a lot to learn from that? I'm not sure there is, really. It's such a weird collapse. Like, we've seen them under Dyche, like, see out games with, you know, mad blocks and mad saves and stuff, really keep their head for the full 190 minutes as it is now. By the way, 6 minutes, don't know where they got that from. But
they made 5 subs, didn't they?
So?
That's, well, 2.5, we made 2. So, yeah, 2.5 was somewhere.
I think 3 of those 6 minutes was when he was chasing that number 24 around the field, when he was trying to book him, which he probably should have sent him off for. I didn't actually see fully the whole grapple, but a lot of people around me were saying he probably should have been sent off. But I'm just looking for excuses now. In terms of learning from it for the manager, I'm torn between saying just dust it off and focus on the positives, and just absolutely batter them and get them into Finch Farm in 2 hours and have them doing, you know, double circuits or something. I don't know. Where'd you go from there?
So the thing with Dyche long term, I don't worry about the basics. Today was about the basics at the end, to use a Fabian Delph quote. With him, I don't worry about that. He'll get that right. He'll make the team solid. He'll protect the V, all the things he's classically famous for. He'll have a defensive midfielder. He'll sort that. The thing I worried about Dyche is that attacking element. And I think the positive today is we saw what we can do going forward, and some of the movement front three behind the striker was the best I've seen for ages. So
We can never have both though.
so I know it's kind of immediately after this, but I'm not worried by that. It's a frustrating, annoying, irritating day. I'm not sure about 8th, but I'm not. I'm not worried about that, because I think there are positives to come through, and I think Dyche gets points in groups, doesn't he? We saw last year, he had a couple of matches. He'll have a shitty run and we'll get nothing, and then he'll pick it back up and we'll get a group of points together, and there'll be the games we don't expect. And I think we saw a bit today. We've actually got a bit going away from home. So getting Dye playing out left, I quite like him on the wing because he gets a bit more space. I know he wants to play 10, but he gets a bit more space there. I think I can see potential from away performances to start to pick up points as well. So we'll sort the basics out, attacking throughout.
So it's another good statistic is that we've lost every August game under Dyche.
Actually, we've not won in August since 2021. Which I'm assuming was Tottenham under Ancelotti.
Yeah, so what we need to do is cancel August.
Just leave it. Just play cricket.
But it's like, I know what you're saying. Like, and I think, say we'd lost that 2-1 with us going up on 50 and them scoring on 65 and 80, and like you come away say, you know, we were the better team. We got done by a couple of goals. Like that's fine, but I was talking to Les about this before. I remember a game under Martinez where we were 2-0 up against West Ham and he brought Nias on and it unravelled. I think they scored 3 times in the last 5 minutes and we got beat 3-2. And I always remember thinking after that game, like that match has left a scar on this team and this fan base. And I think some results, given the way they've gone, can just leave that sort of indelible mark which just you can't quite shake off. And that, listen, we don't know how it's going to transpire, and the manager has shown that he can pull this team out of the muck. But that today, like, imagine if what's the next home game? Palace. Imagine if we're a goal up against Palace or 85 at Goodison. Like, what's it going to be like in that ground and with those players? Like, that's not because nobody wants us to win or do well. It's just that game is going to be in your head now for months, if not years. You know, we always talk. Whenever we're 2-0 up now, I always think about the Newcastle Lejeune game when he scored twice. Like, I was thinking about that a bit today when they got that first goal. Like, I just think that's the sort of loss that leaves a proper mark on a team, and it's going to take a lot, I think, to shrug that off.
Yeah. I think we got 2 aways, which really helps us a bit. So if we can bounce back, get a point we're not expecting from one of those 2. But like I said, I think like Moyes used to do, when Moyes had a bad run, he'd go back to basics, wouldn't he? Just keep it tight. So focus on defence and kind of focus on that defensive shape in front of it, and I think he'll go back to that to an extent, but we have got that kind of attacking potential which we haven't seen for a while, so I'll take the positive from that for a small thing.
Yeah, I don't know if you've done the positives, but Ndai was a massive positive.
Positives, yeah.
No, are we going to do positives?
Yeah, go on, yeah.
All right, then, sound. And Ndai was a huge positive. He is one of those players who will get you up off your seat and literally get you up off your seat. It was
very penal today.
He was, yeah, but it wasn't just the dropping the shoulder, turning the man. There was times when he was tackling back, getting the ball off their midfielders, winning free kicks. He did a bit of everything today. He looked really, really good. So he was a bright spot, and I think Eric Boonham again. He like dropped off massively after like 70 minutes, but I thought he was outstanding for the first hour or so. So yeah, like Foxy said, you know, there are positives there. We've seen an attacking side to Everton today, and we played some really, really, really nice stuff there. I thought we took them apart at times. It's just like I said, can we have both at once? Can we have that good defensive shape and that attack? I don't know, but you know, there's things to be positive. There's things to be positive about.
Calvin got a great assist, scored a good goal as well. It's like, it's one of them where
tap in for the second as well.
Which one was that? From McNeil.
The ball across the box.
That was to make it 3-0, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, Ndiaye put a great cross in, didn't he, as well, from his left foot. And the defender just got in front of it. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm ready to wrap. Anyone got any more points they want to make about? I mean, yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
Should we try and keep it positive, shall we? I actually thought Jack Harrison was very good, and he's been very good.
I can't have that.
I do genuinely think he's a lot better than he was last season.
Shout out to James Garner.
Jimmy Biston did all right, didn't he?
I thought his crossing with his right foot was horrific today. Like, there's certainly a chance where he got in a good position to put the ball in and he either hit the first man or just spooned it.
Bad crossing's the staple for Everton players, that's fine. But he's getting much better at taking on his man and actually making the ball go forward, which is something we really struggle with. The great thing about Ndiaye is that if he loses the ball, he's 20 yards further forward than he was when he got it, which we normally struggle with. I think Harrison started to do that as well. It's slightly positive. I'm happy.
I think the best thing about Harrison is the way he plucks the ball out the air. I mean, it's outstanding when he does that. He just takes it down on his toe. It's lovely. And
what a win for the Blues.
Yeah. We won the takedowns. And a nice thing as well is that when Eric Boonham gets the ball, no one needs to shout turn because he's already turned.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Yeah. That's a positive, I think.
He is good in. Like, it's the first time I've seen him in the flesh today, and I thought I was really impressed with him. But we need to watch that 60, 70 minutes.
He's 20,
you can tell he's not played much Premier League football. And like, they were just gonna shake me out. There were just a few little moments, I think, where I think should have been warning signs. I thought, like, there's one where like he tried to dribble through a few plays in the middle of the pitch and lost it, and they went through and nearly got in, and then he did something straight after that, and it wasn't like just one mistake and he got back into it. It's like, right, that's a pattern now.
This is where the manager needs to make substitutions because he sees that.
So like, were you more annoyed at the fact he didn't bring Irabunum off than he did brought Die off?
Yeah, I think so, because that really did expose the midfield there. He had Garner on the bench, and Garner played in midweek. I thought he'd started bad in midweek, Garner, but like grew into the game and got better as it went on. So he would have been ready to come on for 20 minutes there, and that's what frustrated me. It was things like that. He should see that. He should see that he was flagging, and that leaves a big hole in the middle.
Just to wrap up, any concern about the goalie? He's not at the best to start the season, has he? Probably the Euros had a bit of a toll on him, I imagine, but I'm not seeing the goals back immediately, but I think for a couple of those crosses into the box, he could have easily come out and just caught the ball or cleared it away.
That's not his game, though. That's simply not his game. He's not a run out and punch sort of goalie.
He is a goalkeeper, though. It's a 6-yard box.
But he did it in the first half. He came out. The ball's there. He came out and punched it. And Michael Keane got in his way and he got winded. So, like, what can you do? Either he doesn't come out and the ball maybe gets headed away, or he does come out and ends up getting battered by his own player, and then they just tap it in. He can't win at times with fucking Michael Keane.
I will have no Pickford slander, but I am a little bit concerned. He's hitting a bad run of form. His kicking's not been great, and I do think he's looked a little bit shaky.
But as a positive, he'll get better, right?
Right. Let's wrap it up there. I'm sure people will be fuming about how many positives we managed to find there. But we haven't got them for 2 weeks now. There's one positive. Oh my God.
The Super Kev stuff was really nice.
Yes, we should probably talk about that actually. Yeah, it was fantastic, and I think it was lovely that on 80 minutes when we all thought the game was won, there was like the whole Kevin Campbell song sheet came out and all the different songs about him. It was fantastic, and yeah, that was definitely the high point of the day from our point of view. Great tribute paid to the great man. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Cheers to Matt, Les, Ed, and Foxy making his debut there in very tough circumstances. A bit like Roman Dixon last week, really. But are you going to be chasing somebody down Hack and Tay like him with Son last week?
Not quite got the pace anymore, but I'd like
to. But yeah, cheers to everybody for listening. Yeah, we'll be with you for the next 2 weeks for Villa away, which should be eventful anyway. But yeah, up the toffees. We'll speak to you again soon.